Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I've cried.
Looks like things are moving along here.
Are we on the radio?
The butt is up and running.
So that means we're on the radio.
If someone confirms it. I don't know that anybody's even paying attention. I did send out smoke signals, but I have no idea if staff is paying attention. Staff's probably still hungover.
Yeah, they're probably not even up.
And I haven't logged in to the app. Yeah, I haven't logged into the app where I can see it. So we're flying blind here. Unless you can pull up the radio station.
I'm looking. Oh, Trippy Pineapple. Hear you loud and clear.
TDP, baby, coming through.
Always the faithful one.
Always one. TDP's you know what? I'm not trying to tip my hand here.
Uh-oh.
But he's in the running again in Vegas for winning the staff member of the year.
Yeah, think?
Again, yeah.
Is he coming up here this weekend?
I don't know. I don't think he will because there's like rain and the pass and he's really comfy but he could.
Oh, I'm sure. He's probably relaxing this weekend.
He's had a good couple of days off, but
he deserves it.
He's welcome to, but I'm tell you what. I'm playing. We've promised. We had welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast, broadcasting from the KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California, and we're here. It's Black Friday, and we've promised everybody we're doing a show tonight.
Yes, we did.
But then I'm supposed to do a show again tomorrow night.
That is correct. You can do it. Yeah. You have so much information that you haven't even used you can do it.
I know. It's not the information. It's that it's exhausting. It's a lot of show prep. It takes 2.5 to 3 hours to show prep, get all the pictures and drag and drop section ready.
Oh my
Get it all good. Then I do the show, which I am on. I mean, I'm going.
Are you whining and complaining already now?
I'm telling you that you want me to do 2 in a row like that.
You can do it. You want to do 12 hours on New Year's Eve.
I'm not doing the whole 12 hours.
But you're doing 1 hour tonight and 1 hour tomorrow. That's 2 hours and you have like 12 plus hours in between. Stop complaining.
Oh my God.
Are you going Black Friday shopping?
Today's Black Friday.
Are you going Black Friday shopping like you used to?
No. Do you remember when we used to do that?
No, I didn't. I was not getting up at the god-awful hour
That's
that
true.
You did.
Little history from Gen X Talks family. I was a big Black Friday guy because of my daughters. My daughters wanted to go.
They just wanted you to just pamper them. And
they loved it. They got up. I'll tell you, my girls got up. Even when they were, let's see, the earliest they were 6, 7, 8, and 10 years old, the girls were
something like that, yeah.
And they were already Black Friday. They knew what it was. They got up.
I think they liked it more than Thanksgiving.
I do too. They got up and they would shower and they'd get all their clothes.
Tell them what time you got up.
Well, there was Black Friday keeps changing. And let me back up and be clear. I wasn't a Black Friday guy where, I got to get over to Best Buy to get that 32-inch color TV. I did not go to place by place for their hook, line, and sinker specials. I did not do that. I have never been that guy, and but I like to go out and get they have Friday specials,
right?
But you had to be there early to get any of them. They weren't the giveaway things. I didn't do that.
I don't even know if they still do that anymore.
I don't know, but my daughters would get up. And the first thing we do is they had to have their coffees.
Of course they did.
Even when they were little. If they were little, they got hot chocolates. But as they got older, but we did this every year. We'd get up and go.
At the crack of not even dawn.
Oh, no, because they would change it. It used to be everybody be here at 6 a.m. and we'd pick what place we're going to. And usually the mall.
Yeah,
because the mall had the big anchor stores and we could go there and run through. And then it was, a couple times you had to go to different places. But then they moved it to 5 a.m. Then they moved it to 4 a.m. And the last year we went, the mall opened at 2 a.m. And my girls were ready to go. And I don't remember how many things I normally would buy there. I don't think much, but boy, the girls, they
just wanted the experience.
And they'd go to the girl places and buy the girl things, and they got the makeup, and they got the all the stuff, the soaps, the Bed Bath & Beyond, Pandora.
But we also did, when we had 8 kids around, they didn't have jobs, but we encouraged gift giving.
We did Secret Santas. You did.
Yeah, we did Secret Santas where the kids would pull somebody else's name, and that's who that they would shop for that year. We wanted them to. It's not just about receiving; it's about about the shopping experience. Because I get more out of shopping for people and watching them open their presents than getting things. So that's what they did with you on Black Friday, because you would give them money. So what I was saying is we would give them a certain amount of money,
and we'd make a big deal about it. Like, hey, I want to see how good of a job you do getting the gift for your brother or sister.
How well do you know them?
Yeah, I want to see something clever. I want you to slough it off. And so they really, especially the girls, the boys not so much, but the girls would really take their time and try to find something clever.
Yeah.
And it was just, we made a day of it. And, our goal, it was, people don't know this. Okay, people know this. Our kids don't know this. But having 8 children was incredibly hard on you and I to get gifts because we didn't have the money. We just simply, you have 8 children, and if everybody gets, 5 presents, let's say, it
was 40 presents.
Yeah, you're at 40 presents already, plus stocking stuffers, plus Santa's gift. And you and I always tried to start shopping early. We made one mistake. I remember one year, because some of the stuff we would get them would be like a jacket or, a nice hoodie. But the boys grew. Yeah. From the time you started buying, in September, you're like, I'm going to get ahead of this. Give me some Christmas money. I'm going to start buying some things now. I'm like, okay, go ahead. If you buy a little Tonka truck's going to fit.
Right.
But you bought a hoodie and you're like, I got to give this to a different kid because the one kid grew, and this last 3 months, he's a size or two too big. But we did always try to get the Christmas gift, the Christmas shopping done as early as possible. 1 year,
I know,
we had it done by Thanksgiving or almost done. 1 year. Every other year, it was Christmas Eve, and you and I were in 2 different vehicles running around town.
Not always. Christmas Eve was always our day.
Banging on the doors, trying to figure out how to keep the doors open long enough for us to get in. It may not have been quite that bad, but every year, other than 1 year, we were always struggling. And here, tell them what we did. There's 2 things. Tell them how we sorted out the stocking gifts.
What do you mean how we sorted them out?
We put them on our bed.
Oh, in piles. So I would have like all this stuff in my closet for stockings.
Bags and bags.
Bags and bags and bags. Didn't separate them or anything. And then we'd close our bedroom door, lock it, and I'd put everything like in one big pile on the center of our bed. And then we made separate piles, like smaller piles for each kid. And we would just separate things like that.
Well, and everybody gets, we'd separate. Everybody, okay.
Everybody got candy.
Everybody got an M&M candy cane. Everybody got a chocolate Santa. Everybody got a bag of orange peanuts. There's one yawn.
I know.
That's one. The over-under on yawns today is 5.
It's going to be high.
So we would do that, and we'd set to make sure that we had enough. And then there was always personal things. We put little trinkets in there for each individual kid. Yeah. I'm going to apologize right now to my one daughter. Every single time we did this for our entire marriage, the same daughter, every year, once we got done sorting the piles, was short.
She was.
Every year we're looking like, did we just not get? And she's a wonderful daughter.
Yeah, she's really great. I mean, you'd think of her first, or she's pretty easy.
Yeah. And every year we're like, we did it again. We go, oh shit, we got to go get it. And you can't just put money in there. She's the type of girl who would like thought. She wants to see something that we put in.
We have a couple daughters that say that's their favorite part of Christmas was their stocking.
Yeah, they like, well, the boys do. The boys say they loved going down and seeing what trinkets, what odd things we got.
Yeah.
But boy, that one daughter every year, she got shorted every time. And I don't know why. We just we weren't thinking or something. So we had to run back out and try to, there's 2 yawns. The over-under's 5, that's 2.
Oh, it's going to be more than 5 today.
So
yesterday was a long day.
It was a long day. So yeah, Black Fridays, Christmas, Black Fridays, we'd go out. I'd take the girls out and do their coffees and hot chocolates, and I would buy some things if there were some really neat things on sale. I'll tell you every year.
That was the day I got jewelry.
I was just going to say that.
Because my daughters were with you.
I was just going to tell that story. Guy, get out of my head. I can't believe you got in my head on that one.
The girls would take you to the jewelry store.
Yeah, as you're at the mall doing stuff, and then, and I'm wandering around and just kind of overseeing and making sure the girls are staying in line and in order and staying. I wouldn't let them go individually. There's three yawns, and we're early.
Tired.
The girls, I wouldn't let them go alone. They had to go in pairs or as a group.
Right.
And so I just kind of watched over them. But sure enough, a couple 2 or 3 hours into this, in fact, the one daughter who got shorted every year, who was here last night for Thanksgiving, by the way, she would say, Dad, we got to get Mom a necklace or a ring or something. And then that turned into you getting jewelry for many years of our marriage, many years in a row of our marriage. I would get you a piece of jewelry or something that would fit, because you started getting collections. Like if you had, red earrings, then our daughter, she needs a red necklace now. She needs a red ring. And then if you got a blue ring a sapphire ring one year, sure enough, Christmas comes around. Oh, Dad, you got to get matching earrings now. So you have a lot of these complete sets.
I do.
Because of
my daughters.
And 20 some years.
Yes.
Of Black Fridays and going out there and getting stuff. Yeah, that was another tradition, is making. The girls were so excited. Then they were excited to watch you open it.
Yes, they knew. They were good at keeping a secret. They never told.
That's good.
I never knew.
The boys would have told you.
Probably.
So yeah, Black Friday's here. I haven't bought a thing. I didn't get up. I didn't go. I don't know if none of our daughters, I don't think any of our daughters went Black Friday, but when they have kids, they may start going, if it's a thing anymore. I don't even know if it's a thing. Do they even do that? Do they open up stores, or is everything online now? Well,
Amazon's been doing like Black Friday all week.
Yeah, but you don't go there.
No, but I'm just saying I think they've extended it to like the whole week now.
Well, I've got to do some Black Friday stuff today. Some things that we need that I've been waiting for.
Need.
Yeah. Oh, there's things. Yeah, there's stuff that we got to have that I've been waiting for months, because I'm hoping it goes on sale. So
all right.
Been patient about that.
You can go check my shopping cart while you're at it.
I am not going. Every time I go in there to buy something on Amazon, I'm thinking I'm getting one thing, and as soon as I open up the screen, it says shopping cart has 7 items in it. I'm like, what the fuck?
You never know.
I do know.
Oh my gosh. Well, so Thanksgiving has come and went. We are definitely in the Christmas season now. Yeah,
I would say you can start putting Christmas stuff up, but you put the tree up with the star yesterday or 2 days ago.
Everybody liked just the star yesterday. It was just a blinking star. I never got the lights put on. I was hoping to get the lights at least on, but I didn't get there.
One blinking star.
One blinking star.
It's the modern day version of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Instead of one ornament, it's got one star on it. There is 4 yawns.
I told you I'm super tired today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yesterday was a long day.
We should have got you a coffee. Well, yesterday
I already had a cup of coffee.
You did your thing where you were supposed to go upstairs and take a nap. You go, okay, every day. And this is part of the routine. It's part of the marcyzavala.com routine where we're watching what you eat and you're changing things so you have more stamina.
Yeah.
And you're doing well. And part of it is a nap. Well, you've been up there for an hour and a half, and I finally go upstairs, and I got to get into my office chair and lay back because I'm hurting. My knees are hurting. I go up there. I'm trying to tiptoe through the room being quiet. You're reading a book.
I was. My mind was just, I was going through everything for Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, the kids are going to show up at this time, and I need to get the turkey. When you're cooking all day and you need to get everything on the table at a certain time, your mind I could not shut off.
Your dog was asleep.
He was cuddled up right next to me. I was like, damn you.
He's cuddled up like, all right, Mama, it's nap time.
He doesn't have a care in the world. No, he was totally fine. So I think I'm feeling it today, though, because it was...
Well, the food was good. The company was good. The game... I'm telling you, you looked so pretty yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Excuse me. You looked like... I told you, I made a compliment to you. I turned a corner in the kitchen is what it was. I came into the kitchen and you weren't doing anything special. You were just talking with Mary Mathis and one of our daughters and just kind of moving around the kitchen doing your stuff. But I turned the corner and I just stopped because there are times when you don't look like you've aged since the day we got married.
That is so sweet. I love you.
I look at you and go, oh my God, I'm just this big, horrid, bearded slob. And there's my wife, looks like the day we got married. And, and so that's why I gave you that compliment, because I just couldn't help it.
Maybe I made a deal with the devil when I was
Maybe
sick.
you did. Well,
I knocked at hell's door and went, hey,
I'll
send
tell
me
you
back
what,
up
that's
there.
right. You give me immortality looks, and I'll gladly shovel coal for you when we're done.
Yeah. You
Well,
never know.
Whatever it did, you definitely pulled it off, because
Thank you.
Absolutely, the food was great. The company was great. You were stunning all day, and the games were weird that we played.
I really liked the last one we did.
That stick game where we got to do the stick.
It was shit on your neighbor.
Shit on your neighbor. Yeah, these are not traditional Thanksgiving games.
No, these are prison games.
Yeah.
They're prison games.
So we did that one. Then the second one was actually called Prison Break or Prison.
I thought Thomas was going to laugh when I told him about his future mother-in-law. Did you hear me say that comment? He named it. He said,
"Oh yeah,
this is called Prison Break." Oh no,
bitch.
prison break, bitch. And I looked at him and I went, "That's not something you should call your future mother-in-law."
Okay, yeah.
And I said that with a straight face, and he just busted up laughing.
Well, let's back up a second. You asked him what the game was called. It wasn't Prison Break. It was called Prison Bitch.
Oh yeah, Prison bitch. Yeah.
And I said, now hold on, because you said that's not something you should tell your mother-in-law. And so he sits there for a minute, then he starts to smile, and I said, wait a second, I'm not sure if I should be mad right now. And of course, the whole table and all the kids are being quiet.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, why is Dad upset? I said, well, hold on. Is there a comma in there? Because if you just looked at my wife and said, the game's called Prison Bitch, Mom, I could be okay with that. If the name of the game is Prison Bitch, I'm all right. But if there's a comma in there, and you just looked at my wife and said, the name of the game is Prison Bitch, then I might have to take issue with the fact that you just called my. He goes, no comma,
Yeah.
no comma. There's no comma. No. These are Shaver Lake rules. He goes because he works up there with his power company.
He's a lineman.
He's a lineman up on Shaver Lake. But
And
he's like,
sometimes if it's snowy, he gets paid to play poker.
yeah,
or play card games.
Right. And so he's trying to explain. He goes, I'm sorry, this is just what we call it up at the lake. This is a Shaver Lake thing. I don't know how to explain it. And of course, I'm not letting him off the hook. I'm still staring it down like, what'd you say to my wife?
That was so funny. We put him on the spot, but that kid is so funny.
I'll tell you what. So that's a game with cards and toothpicks, which I think is funny.
not Prison Break. Not Prison Bitch.
Oh, no. Prison Bitch was the other one. I can't. Well, Shit on Your Neighbor. That was
Shit on Your Neighbor with the
cards and toothpicks, and you lose toothpicks you have to trade cards with your neighbor. Okay, whatever. We played that before, but that prison one. Never played before. Took a couple rounds to get used to it. That was a lot of fun.
That was really a lot of fun.
A lot of strategy to it.
Yes, so many levels to it.
Once you get going, it was like, okay, now I'm getting the vibe on this whole thing. And then we learned a lot, as you do when families drinking and playing card games. You learn a lot.
Yes,
we learned that Jade. Were you asking for a Jade update later? Jade's there with her boyfriend. Yes, I allowed him in the house, and he's sitting there totally quiet.
He was quiet the whole time.
I think he said 7 words the entire time he was here.
Yeah, he was
7 words. Well, he was worried that I was just going to come unfucking corked at him. So in the middle of it, I was drinking. And I said, "So, buddy, pal," I said, "Heard you blew out your clutch." He goes, "No, it's my clutch cable." I said, "Oh, well, Jade said your clutch was out, and I was wondering how you were going to, pull the motor out of your Harley or your, transmission out." No, I just broke my clutch cable, and that sparked an argument between them. She goes, "You told me you needed a clutch. I told my dad you needed a clutch." He goes, "I just said clutch. No, you said clutch. So now you're making me look stupid in front of my family." So that was good. My work was done there. They started to fight. And then I asked him, I said, well, I kind of impressed both of the boys there with this one. I said, well, if your clutch cable breaks, did you guys ever think to shift it by hand? And they went, what? I said, well, back in the day, we had a suicide clutch or a suicide shift, and we would just take the one part of the clutch that did work way down at the transmission, and we'd tie a string or a cable and a little tiny stick handle to it and shove it up in the frame, and you could reach down and just pull the clutch. And they both looked at me and went, oh. I think, yeah, you could do that, couldn't you?
What did one of them say with their dirt bike, what he did or something?
Yeah, Thomas had said, he goes, that's a great idea. He goes, I never thought of that. He goes, that'd be perfect. He goes, no, I had to bump start mine.
Yeah.
He goes, I had to start off in second gear and come to a stoplight, shut it off, and then run with it to get it going and pop the clutch and, or put it in first gear and go. No clutch. He didn't have a clutch.
Speaking of more Jade stories, did you notice that there was quite a few hands that she was not doing well? She is a very sore loser.
Yeah.
Did you notice the face? Like, she pouted.
Oh, yeah.
I think if she would have, if she could have, would have, she probably would have left the table.
I think if you'd have given her 3 more shots of whiskey, she'd have been throwing shit at people. So.
But it was just it's just a game. We're just.
Oh, she'd fit in with my mother and my brothers. Great. She'd fit in. Full contact card games is my family's thing up north in Oregon. Full contact, scream, yell, throw shit, tip over the table. Oh yeah, good. She'll fit right in there. But also with her boyfriend, I said, so how far out is the registration on your motorcycle?
Oh yeah. You really put him on the spot.
And he looks at me and I go, yeah, I looked at your bike when you pulled up the other day. 2 years out of registration. He goes, yeah, I'm getting to it. And then our other daughter tore into him, not even Jade's sister, not related to this guy. She goes, do you know you're going to get your bike towed? Why do you let it go so long? It's probably $1,000 by now. And he started to open his mouth like he was going to say something back to her. And I and the other boyfriend and Briggs all looked at him like, don't fucking say a word. You're in our family now.
Right.
Don't you fucking say a word.
You're on our turf.
Yeah, so he just sat there quietly. But he couldn't defend himself on the clutch with Jade. They got into a big fight. He couldn't defend himself against our other daughter who was like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing, dumbass? And so he just sat there quietly. But we learned a lot about all the kids and what they're. I loved it. Our one daughter brought her boyfriend, who I think of him as my future and son-in-law. He's going to be a great addition to the family. But that guy took every opportunity to tell our daughter, are you playing that hand? Really? Next round, you're playing that card. Next round, I wouldn't have played that card if I were you.
Yes, he was doing.
I mean, to where she turned at him one time and slapped the table like, if my parents weren't here, I'd beat the shit out of you. She'd had enough. It was an hour of that.
It was funny though.
And he's also casual. He's side-eyed. He's like, that's not what I would have done. He needs to make a big deal about it.
He's very comfortable in the family. He's been around a long time.
So we've known the kid since he was 11.
Yeah, so he fits right in.
He pokes her. He
needles I go, man, you're going to get so much trouble if you keep going.
Oh, but he kept doing it all night till finally my daughter just exploded. She's like, you know what? I don't even know that I know how to play this fucking game.
Too many rules.
And I'm like, so the whole table got quiet and we're like, this game has like 4 rules.
That's right. They're not.
Here's how you start. Here's who wins. Maybe there's 2 rules in between. She didn't
get the strategy part.
Oh, she was so mad.
It was funny.
So yeah, he needled her all night. So it was a good time. The only thing that was missing last night was Briggs' girlfriend Addie.
I know.
She couldn't make it over, and it is so much more fun when she's here.
She's part of the family too. Oh, yeah. She is not quiet. She will attack.
Everybody. Yeah.
She will be evil. She will be. Yeah. She's a competitor.
So it was good. I did learn something. Now you think after 56 laps around the sun, and
almost 57.
Almost 57. My birthday's coming up. I was born December 25th in the year of our Lord 1967.
You're gonna be an old man.
When am I now?
An old man.
No, so
older.
I'm just gonna continue my status as old.
You'll be older than me.
Okay, that is such bullshit.
What is bullshit about? It's the truth.
Okay, fine. I'll be older, but right now I'm not. So if I'm old, you're old. You just called me old. You're calling us both old.
Whatever.
All right. So you think after this many laps around the sun, I would have all of the marital cliches worked out. You know, just what to say, what not to say, when to say it, when not to say it.
You would think.
I came up with one that I'm going to hand out right now for free.
For me?
Nope.
Oh, to anybody else listening?
Men, husbands, right now. There are husbands.
I'll see if it's acceptable to say.
Well, you don't have a choice. This is so perfect. There's not even a way a wife can critique it.
Was this one of your episodes at 2 a.m. you came up with?
Yes.
I figured. There was no bathroom shower writing at all, but
no.
your brain was going. Yeah.
Yeah. So men, husbands, boyfriends, you know that as time goes on, I'm submitting this to the jury of my peers.
Oh my goodness.
But as time goes on, your wife's cooking can get exponentially better. It can get to a level and it stays the same. Or
tread lightly.
What?
Tread lightly.
I'm just speaking in general. I'm not speaking about you, sweetheart.
Uh-huh.
I'm speaking in general.
Go ahead, continue. I'm
or
listening.
your wife could, some of her cooking may digress and not be as once what it was. So I found the phrase when your wife or your mother or your grandmother or your girlfriend or some woman in your life presents you food that you don't like. Let's say it just doesn't taste how it's supposed to. Now, the traditional answer is always, oh, yeah, this is great, just like before. It's wonderful. It tastes. You've always do such a good job. So I love it so much. It's every year I look forward to this. Okay, got that. But if you don't care for what has been prepared for you and you want to say something like, it doesn't taste like it did last year, or it doesn't taste like it used to, because you're trying to give the woman in your life some honest criticism to let them know, hey, your food sucks this year. Go fix it.
Wow.
Try better. But you can't say that. You can't come out and say that.
No, because that's just wrong.
It's not wrong if it's true.
That's picking a fight.
Okay, so here's what you do. This is where we have now arrived at the answer.
All right, let me hear it. I'll tell you if it's good or bad or ugly or whatever.
When you come across with some gentle phrases to let your wife know the food isn't quite what it was, you quickly follow with, here comes.
Okay.
Sweetheart, it's not you. My taste buds have changed over the years.
Oh, that's such bullshit.
No, that happens. So, there's people that like avocados, then they grow up and don't like them, or they like cheese and they don't like it. People's cereals, they love peanut butter Captain Crunch when they're a kid, but they like Lucky Charms when they're older. People's taste buds change. That's true. And you kind of grow out of things like, yeah, I used to really love hot dogs. I don't love hot dogs so much. Everybody knows that's a fact. So all you have to say in the course of normal human behavior is, when you say, how was my apple pie? And I'm like, it was okay. It was good. I'm sure it's just like how you always fix it. My taste buds have changed over the years. I'm not quite, I'm just not into it as much as I once
bullshit.
was. What do you mean you call bullshit? What's wrong with saying that is a legitimate human response that my taste buds have changed? It's not, this is the version of it's not you, it's me when you're
Yes, I thought that was how it was coming out. Yes, it's about food.
Right. It's when you break up with someone, you go, it's not you, it's me. We got to break up. So now you're just changing that over to food. It's not you.
Oh my God.
It's not your food, it's me. But it's fair because
where's that bullshit bell?
That is totally legit. Do people's taste buds not change as they get older? Yeah. Can everybody out there raise a hand and think of something they did or did not like in their youth that's changed now? Of course. Why is your food an exception?
Wait till I use it on sex. Honey, my preferences of sex have changed.
So you're just not
it's just not the same.
Not the same. It's not you. It's
not
my
you.
preferences.
It's just the preferences. It's just changed as I got older. Okay, I got you. I know where we're going with this.
I take back everything I said. Don't ever tell me that. I don't want to hear that.
I got it. I know what we're playing with now.
So
don't worry.
When sex is over and I say, how was that? You'll go, well, my preferences have changed.
It's not you.
I can't
me.
really judge how you were.
Yeah,
I'm not the same as I once was.
I wasn't. It's not like it was, in my youth. I guess things have just changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. Thank you for allowing me to come up with something. That's so good.
That wasn't a phrase for you to use.
I appreciate that.
That was for the
men. I know
men
where you're coming from.
Of America and Denmark is
Women,
why.
I just changed it for you.
Wow.
You're welcome. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
There's a lot wrong with that.
Boy, that flipped on you, didn't it?
Well, because you can't say that. That's not a good thing.
Wow.
Can we move on?
Yeah.
I will tell you this, going through the stuff on Gen X Talks, I got some from you, a lot from Briggs, and I was kind of thumbing through the stuff on my own. We got a lot of happy Thanksgiving from viewers out there. I mean, I'm going to say thousands.
Oh, I love that.
All over the place from the videos and the things that were posted.
I haven't had time to look. I was so busy yesterday. I didn't do much of any social media.
The one thing that we did a crossword puzzle for members, and it has all to do with Gen X Talks. If you're
folklore.
a hardcore
Gen X Talks folklore.
Yeah, Gen X Talks lore. Yeah. And so the best compliment I think we've ever received at Gen X Talks was a paragraph a woman wrote, and she said, "Thank you so much for putting up this puzzle. It's so much fun. Thank you guys for all of the posting you guys do. You guys put out more content for your viewers than any other channel on social media."
Wow.
And I thought about that because there's obviously, like, you could say Joe Rogan on YouTube is way more popular than us by 100 million people.
By sure.
But he only puts out one podcast a week. And
he doesn't have to do anymore because he's so popular.
There's others that put up one podcast or one video a week or two a month, and they have huge followings because they're super interesting stuff. I get that. I do understand that. But where we make up for it is with the effort. We put up members only stuff. I bet we put up 3 to 4 posts a week that are members only. You put up 5, 6, 8 posts a day on nostalgia stuff all over all the platforms. We do polls and stuff. We do put out a lot. I mean, a ton of effort.
Yeah, we do.
It was the nicest compliment for that woman to say that you guys it's a noticeable difference what you guys do.
We care about our listeners. We care about the people that watch our channel. Like, we think about it every single day.
We care about the brand Gen X Talks very much. If something happens in our personal life, we make a note, because that would be fun to share.
Yeah.
Just like what we're doing right now with Thanksgiving and Black Friday stuff. It's just, it is an angle. It is a perspective of our Gen X Talks family that's funny, that people can relate to. But we do care about the brand. We do put a lot of effort into it every single day.
Yeah.
We'll even drag gear with us and do stuff on the road because we don't want to miss something.
Right. Exactly.
So when that woman took the time to write that, I think that's got to be the best compliment we've ever got, was someone saying, "I notice how much effort you put into everything you do for the brand, and thank you for that."
That's very
sweet.
A good part. Whoever that was, thank you so much.
I'm gonna go back and copy it and print it out. I'm gonna frame it and put it behind my desk.
I did forget to share something. The Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, we were upstairs getting ready for bed, and I was taking a shower. And you always sit in your chair, and I swear his mind is just going. I know him so well after so many years, and I know he's like planning the next day, right? So remember, I got out of the shower and I walked up to you and I go, "Whatever you're thinking and planning that I'm supposed to do tomorrow."
You said, "Forget it."
Forget it. And he looked at me and I said, "I know what you're doing. You've been sitting in that chair thinking what we're going to get done tomorrow.
Got to get stuff going.
I said, "I know. I'm not working for Gen X Talks tomorrow." And you looked at me.
You said, "Leave me alone the entire day.
I'm off the clock. I am not working tomorrow." And you were like, "But..." I said, no, you're not bothering me.
Yeah, we didn't do the podcast we're doing today. We didn't do it yesterday, so it didn't drop this morning. The next one was we didn't do the show last night. It did allow us to do. You did do one thing.
What's that?
We both sat there while the kid recorded our happy.
That wasn't up to us.
I know, but I mean, you did participate.
I know, but the kid, I was like looking at him like, "You've got to be kidding me."
I know, but let's focus on what the lesson here is. You told me, "Don't bother me, I'm not doing shit." And then our little charming little baby boy comes up, "Mommy, can you record with me?" "Sure, honey. I'll take some time and record with you." You wouldn't do it for me, but you would do it for him. Exactly. That's the lesson we can take away from that.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
I was trying to figure out what we did and didn't talk to everybody about on the last podcast. We went to Vegas, but did we record it in Vegas?
Yes.
So we did record. We did one from the hotel room in Vegas.
And then we took off for the day.
Right. Okay. So they heard about the dumb waiter putting the napkin in my lap and me hitting my nose on the glass.
Yes.
That was all in the last podcast.
Yes.
Okay. So this one is all about getting to Reno.
Our little adventure.
Well,
where we weren't going, technically.
No, we were going to go home.
We were gone all day Thursday. And then we got back. We didn't even go out at that night on Thursday night. Remember, we got back and we were tired. We were supposed to meet up with...
Haywood, yeah. Hey.
And we didn't. We were tired. Didn't we get room service that night?
I don't remember. It's a blur right now.
And then we thought we were going home the next day.
Well, we were originally going to Vegas, then Reno to have meetings.
Right.
When we got to Vegas and some of our meetings got canceled, and we were going to go home. And your eyes lit up because, we have an open schedule now. Now we can do all sorts of stuff. I'm like, don't fucking do this. I'm not doing a bunch of shit. So we compromised and we started doing a bunch of shit. And we went to that Red Rock Scenic Drive.
Yeah, I wanted to see that because I thought we were going home.
$22 to drive 13 miles.
Oh my goodness. Are
Which
you just
was
gonna
so
keep
dumb.
living that up?
Because it was dumb. The only part that was even mildly interesting was when the old man at the booth said it's $22, and I thought it was like $11 per person, and it was $22 a car. And I said, well, if I leave her here with you, can I do the whole loop for $11? And he was like slicking his hair back, like, yeah, you can leave her here with me. The dude's 75 years old, but he did add at the end of it. He's like, does she work? Because I'm going to put her to work. I was like, yeah, she'll work for you. I would have whored you out for $11 so I didn't have to pay it.
So rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
We did the Red Rock Drive. We got done. And I remember stopping at the sign thinking, turn this way to go home, turn that way to go north. And you were like, what are you doing? And there's no one behind us.
Right. You sat there for a while.
And you're like, what are we doing? And we already had all of our stuff. We're checked out of the hotel.
Right.
And I turned left. I headed north. And you're like, where are we going?
Back into Vegas.
Yeah. And I went right through Vegas.
I know, but you turned not to go home. You went back into Vegas. And I was like, where are we doing?
Going? And I said, we're going to go to Goldfield. And you're like, you looked it up. And you're like, there's no Goldfield, Nevada.
I couldn't find it right away. And I'm like, where is Goldfield?
So we ended up going through Goldfield and Tonapah and on into Reno.
Beatty. We went up the 95. So we hit all these little towns.
You made a friend in Beatty.
Oh, God, Fred.
There's this
burro
walking down the street in Beatty, just like
on the sidewalk,
minding his own business,
part of his own town, just having a good old time.
So we had to stop and video this dude. He's like, hey, how you doing?
I first thought it was a statue. I was like, whoa, check that out, because it was white.
Yeah.
And he wasn't moving or anything. And I was like, kind of like looking.
And then he turns his head and starts walking. You're like, wait, that dude's alive.
That was funny. That was an interesting little town. So every little town we came into, like Beatty, and we hit, there were a couple of different
Goldfield
ones.
was interesting because I didn't know that Wyatt Earp had spent time there. I didn't know Virgil Earp died there, and I'm huge on the Earp fans.
Yeah, you love.
For me, that was like great news because I was already going there. I was going there for another reason. Goldfield had some history for me.
Well, tell them what it was.
Well,
how did you even? Because you have to explain it like you explained it to me, like how you knew it even existed. And
I broke up with a girl one time and drove through it on my way to Oregon.
No, about the guy in the dealership guy.
That's how I'd ever been there. That's how I got there. Broke up with a girl, ended up driving up, which you found out Highway 95 is
the loneliest highway in the United States.
She looks that up and she looks out the window and goes, wow, this highway.
Nothing.
This highway is aptly named.
Yes.
This is terrible.
We're totally going out of order because we forgot about after we got out of Vegas, we were going into Indian Springs and we saw the Air Force Base.
I got a burrito.
Yeah, we stopped.
So we left out Vegas. I headed north. I said we're going to Goldfield, and we stopped to get some gas. And there was a taco truck there that I said that looks like one of those. It looks like a Roach Coach. You're like, ooh, that's got to have some good food. And they were.
You saw breakfast burrito.
Oh, I know.
God, the
and
big words.
And this guy gave me a breakfast burrito bigger than a football.
Yep,
this thing was huge. And you got some tacos. They were delicious food. And we were right across from an Air Force base where the drones, the Raptors were doing touch and goes. That was kind of cool. They're a lot bigger than I fucking thought.
Yeah, they're like big as an airplane.
Yeah. Then we went on. So I don't know if we're getting in the right order. The towns got to Goldfield, and the town of Goldfield. I used to work for Jim Marsh Mazda. Jim Marsh painted his entire dealership 2 coats of green, 2 shades of green, which looked ugly. And they did it while we were there working. And so someone came up and asked the owners, like, why'd you paint it this ugly 2 colors of green? You know what his answer was?
What?
The color code of dark green and this color code of the lighter green he got from the United States Federal Reserve. These are the 2 color codes on money.
That is so vain.
He painted his dealership, all the buildings, the exact 2 shades of the color that you use on a dollar bill. He used to stand there and give us our paychecks. He used to stand on a big, tall podium and lean down and hand us our paychecks like he was doing us a favor.
Ugh.
But the other part of that is he was, in his spare time, he bought every building in Goldfield, Nevada. That was like his hobby back in the 90s, was buying all the things that were for sale in this ghost town, so he owned them. And so then I broke up with this chick one time and drove through there, and I saw it, and I wanted to go back. So now you and I are going, and we haven't had an opportunity to go back there in 25 years. Now we're going. So I'm recounting the story, and you started doing a little homework on it, and we find out that Wyatt Earp was there, that Virgil Earp died there. And then when we got there, every building, it's like 100 different buildings that have markers on them. And you go online and look up every story of every building there.
I got the historical marker for Goldfield.
Fucking great.
So he would read me the number of whatever building it was, and then I'd read the history on it. It was pretty neat. Most of that town was built in like 1905, 1906.
Yeah, that's when
right around that era. So that's kind of when the city developed. It just because it was a gold.
It was a gold town in the 1850s, but by the time it hit 1899 to like 1907, it was booming. Boomed. I mean, big buildings went up.
Yeah. So then I read in 1923 a big fire went through there and burned Main Street, and you could see some of the buildings are still burnt.
Still there. They left them burned in the lots where they were. The problem was that the places that I wanted to see that mainly contained Earp memorabilia, like where did they live, where did they hang out, where did they work, all those burned down.
Yeah.
The hospital burned down in the fire. I mean, we missed a lot of that, but I still was having a good time. We drove through the cemetery really slow. Anyway, so we took off. We did all that for a little while, and we took off up the loneliest highway.
Again.
And we went to Tonapah, and then
we hung out in Tonapah for a little bit. We stopped there.
Yeah, there was a couple little things. One of them, there's a couple little stories, so don't bore everybody to death. You decided to take a shortcut as we were heading north on the 95. Oh. I was going to take the 95 all the way to I-80 and take I-80 into Reno. Seemed pretty simple.
Yeah.
And you're like, no. Look right here. There's a shortcut.
The map said it, and I chose it.
You chose to no, go off at this 45-degree angle. This is going to save us like half an hour.
We're not going to go into the middle of the city.
Right. We're not going into Fernly. We're going to shortcut it.
Right.
It's late at night. Her shortcut was...
late at night is like 7:30.
Okay, look, it was dark. All I'm saying is it was dark. And it was go down this street, turn on this street. Go on this street for 2 miles.
Go through a neighborhood.
Turn on this street. Turn down here, go 1 mile on this street, turn on that. I mean... It was like going through Los Angeles on side streets, and you tried to convince me, well, the distance is shorter. Well, I know, but we can only go 15 miles an hour. It took longer to go through this fucking shortcut. So that was our shortcut around Fernly, which, just so you know, don't do it. Then we had to stop.
What are you trying to say?
And then you were so mad at yourself because this didn't work out. And, of course, I'm needling you the whole way. And we pull up to... either before or just after Hawthorne.
Was it Hawthorne?
Yeah, and I pulled in right in front of the glass, and my knee was hurting. I go, just go in there and get us some water stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so you walk in.
I did not feel good in that place.
And there was like 12 guys in there, and they were just homeless, and some of them were
But five of them came in right after me. Did you see the group that came in as soon as I
was parked right in front of the door, and I could see the entire store. Yes, I was very aware. I was ready to jump out and hobble in with my crutches.
I was going to say, yay.
So, but you got mad. You came out and you're like, did you see those guys? I could have been raped. I could have been murdered. I could be dead. I'm like,
I didn't say that.
It's just a bunch of guys.
I felt uncomfortable.
I said, did anybody talk to you? No. Well, then quit it. But you still wouldn't let it go that I put you in this terrible, risky position. So then I started joking about how when we tell people about the story, I'm going to have to bring up the Hawthorne Rapists.
Shut up.
There you go.
That went on for another half hour.
Well, yeah, we got to be careful. There's the Hawthorne Rapists are about. We don't know what could happen with the Hawthorne Rapist. You need to be careful. I mean, it's a dire world out there. Because everything you said that night was so dramatic. I finally had enough, and I'm like, okay. So you see a few guys here that make you uncomfortable. They're Hawthorne Rapists. That's what they are.
Oh, my God. You're the one that said that. I never said that.
Yeah, well, it finally got you to shut up. Till you punched me.
Oh, yeah.
And we almost went off the road.
I was so pissed.
You hit me right in my chest, and I didn't see it coming because, again, it was the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
It's
really late.
It's dark outside, and you hit me while I was driving. I'm doing like 60.
I was so mad.
And you punched me, and we almost went over the edge. And
listen to you, Mr. Dramatic.
We skidded in circles.
No, we did not. You are so full of
Other
shit.
people on the road slid to their own demise and destruction. Luckily, you were in the hands of a gifted and talented driving professional.
Santa Claus shit.
And I was able to overcome the physics that you had put us in.
What a big fish story.
And we survived.
Oh, my goodness.
That's how I remember it.
Sounds like you're a whiny bitch right now.
Give or take a liar too.
Wife hits you.
I remember
it's abuse and my God.
I could have. I had a mark on my chest. I could have turned you in. I could have driven to the Hawthorne police station right then.
Brother, they were busy.
Yeah,
at the crash
with the rapists.
No, at the crash that they were at. The whole town was there. The crash that we went by. Not our crash.
Not
another
our crash. No, our crash. Ours happened earlier. We survived ours.
Oh, brother. God, it's a little bit. The shit is just piling up in here.
Here's another one. So I go to the bathroom at this gas station, and it was, I don't know what, you were outside, and I forget where, we didn't need fuel. So I go in to just take a leak, and I said, hey, which way to the bathroom? And this guy behind the counter he's 300 pounds. He ain't as big as me, but he looks like a fat Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That guy had the glasses and the face of Napoleon Dynamite.
I forgot about him.
And the curly hair, but he just was miserable looking. I mean, and dark hair, so different, but dark hair. And I said, excuse me. I said, can you tell me where the restroom is? And he's like in a huff I waited for him to be done with the customer. He was back there in the corner. Gosh. And I was like, oh my God, the guy fucking talks like Napoleon Dynamite. He's being rude. So I go back there to go to the bathroom. It's one of those bathrooms where there's just one door and one sink, one toilet. You just, you lock the door. And somebody had fucked up that whole bathroom. I won't get into details, but it was a wreck.
Use your imagination.
So I took a leak and I had my one crutch. I used the bottom of my crutch to push down some trash and stuff. Anyway, I came out, and there was now a woman helping people at the cash register, and there was 2 people in line. And I was just going to politely say, hey, you need to send someone back there to check on the bathroom. And so while I'm waiting, fat Napoleon Dynamite comes by, and apparently he was stalking something, and he wasn't doing it right. And the woman goes, no, that's not where those go. You need to take him down and put him over. He goes, oh, and he's mad. He goes and does that. And then he comes back and he's like dropping the boxes really hard. And I was going to tell him about the bathroom, and I decided to wait. So the girl gets done with her customers, and she's kind of looking at him, shaking her head like, dude, grow the fuck up. Because he's right there in the middle of everybody, stomping around, huffing and puffing. Big fat Napoleon Dynamite with his glasses coming off his nose. There's your 6th yawn of the day. And so I said, hey, just wanted to let you know that somebody messed up your bathroom. I tried to clean it a little bit, but, just letting you know, maybe you want to send somebody back there. And she goes, okay, thank you. And she was nice. And then the Napoleon Dynamite guy had walked up, and he was waiting impatiently for me to get done talking so he could say something. So he's like, I turn, and he's stomping his feet, like his one foot, like, hurry up. I want to talk to my boss.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to say this. I was going to be nice. I was just going to tell the woman. And so I turned to her and said, this is the bathroom. She goes, okay, thank you for telling me and let me know. I said, yes, if you want to go. She goes, yeah, we'll take a look at it. And I turned, and this is when I saw all this happen. And she's right there with me. And I pointed to the guy. And I looked back at her and I said, I was going to tell fat Napoleon Dynamite here, but he already looks like he's in a bad fucking mood. And she started laughing so hard, she started crying. And she goes, fat Napoleon Dynamite. That's what he looks like. Yeah. He stomped off in the back room like he had never been that butthurt in his life. And I wasn't going to say anything. But I mean,
he brought it on himself.
He brought it on himself. It was an easy fucking target.
That's funny.
I don't know if that guy's going to, now his new nickname for everybody that comes into that store is, that's going to spread through that small little town.
Probably.
Everyone's going to call him that. No matter where he goes to work, he can quit that store and go to a restaurant and wash dishes, and someone's going to go, hey, look, Fat Napoleon's in the back. It's going to stick with him forever, I think.
Oh, man.
So there was that one. That was our. Oh.
Then we slid in sideways into Reno right before the storm hit, got under the valet entrance to the hotel. Remember that?
Well, we're trying to beat the storm. That was one good thing about the way we went. We didn't go up the 5.
We didn't go
or the
west
99.
to east. Yeah, we went east to west. We went through backwards.
We just got raced into GSR and got it. They have one of the biggest canopies for cars when you're dropping off at a hotel I've ever seen.
Yeah, we didn't hit any rain until we got there. And then the rain started, then the wind started.
I couldn't believe how much wind there was. I mean, I've been in a lot of wind and it was bad. So you were freezing cold. I just sent you inside. I go, look, go check us in, go get the stuff. I'll get all our baggage and our gear and I'll take care of the truck and stuff. So I did. You went inside, I'm handling all that. Even I was getting cold, and I don't get cold very easy. So I am going in there with some of our gear, and I come in, and you're talking to some guy.
Oh, yeah.
There's some salt and pepper haired 45-year-old guy. He's yucking it up with you.
And I'm so tired because we've been on the road all day. I was just looking forward to going.
But you're smiling.
I'm trying. Well, because why?
Well, he recognized you. What did he exactly say? Yeah, not me. I wasn't even there.
Well, I noticed when I walked in, he kind of walked by me going outside. And he made eye contact with me, and I was like, "Do I know that?" It was one of those I was like, "Do I know him?" And I'm just tired, and I'm waiting for you, and I'm like, "Oh, I just want to get to my room." Then all of a sudden, I saw him come from back in behind me, and he stops, and he goes, "Are you GXMom?" Wow. And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Are you here for another event?" I'm like, "Event?" I didn't register. I was so tired. I'm like, "Event?" And he goes, "Yeah, like last year or the year when you were here in Reno." And I was like, "Oh no." I said, we just came up from Vegas. We're just spending the night. We have family here in town and stuff." And he goes, "Oh, it's really good to see you. You're just striking up this whole conversation." And I said, "What are you doing?" I just was being, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "I'm here for the UNR Army Air Force game for tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." He goes, "Really, really nice to meet you." Didn't ask about you.
No.
He didn't ask about you, and then you came up from behind.
Well, this is where I walk in, and you guys are laughing it up, and you're smiling, and I'm like, all right, who's this guy? And so
I was so shocked to be recognized.
You're so you're proud and you're embarrassed a little bit, but you're very well. This man just noticed who I was. He said, "Are you GXMom?" So you're retelling the story, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I turned to the guy, thinking he's going to say, "Oh my God, you're Gen X Dad, or you're the general." So after you get done telling your story, he looks at me and just gives me a head nod. He did. He goes like this. He goes, "Hey, nice to see you," and then shakes your hand or gives you the hug or whatever, walks away. I'm like, that guy didn't want nothing to do with me at all. He recognized you, which is not as common.
No, nobody does.
Not often. They do when we're together, but not often they recognize you alone. And this guy did. He clearly didn't give a shit about me at all. Not even a little bit.
I was so shocked. That was funny.
That was funny. So, yeah, the wind was so bad. This is not a lie. I still have it on my phone. The wind was
shared that
so
video.
Bad. I was sitting, she went to bed. I'm sitting at the desk at our room in the GSR. I had to turn the TV up almost as loud as it goes because the wind was coming through the walls.
Through the window, too. I walked over to the window.
And you shut all the security drapes and everything to cut the noise down. But the wind was coming up through the elevator shafts, down the hallways,
whistling,
and through the hotel doors. So if you went to the hotel door, which goes out into the hallway, you could put your hands up and feel the wind coming through like at 40 miles an hour. You could feel it. So I sat there in my chair, and it whistled so loud. I took my phone out, I pressed record, and I pointed it towards the door. So I'm 15 or 18 feet away from the door.
Right.
Just grabbed my phone and pointed it, and I played it back for the Sun Valley Fox the next day. And he's like, "Why is there a siren going off?"
Yeah, everybody thought it was a siren.
Was there a fire? Do you have a siren? I played 20 seconds of this video, and it was these hello and then
So like somebody screaming.
Yeah, or a siren that
I thought I would never sleep that night.
It was the most uncanny thing I'd ever experienced.
And we were only on the 4th floor.
Yeah, as the people on the top floor said, it was even worse for them.
I was wondering if the building, I mean, it was blowing so much, I thought maybe the building would move.
No, you're not going to move that thing. But the point is I could hear things blowing between the walls, like stuff that had been built inside the building's walls between the hotel rooms. You can hear it rocking and rolling and clicking and falling, and it was... That was I couldn't feel it move, but I'm telling you, it was bad. That was one of the worst noises ever.
That was crazy.
So so we got to Reno, did our stuff, and then we did the bottom of the glass show from your brother's house, from the Sun Valley Fox's house.
That was so much fun.
And who was there? Who showed up for that event?
We had Mike Perkins. We had my brother and his wife, St. Donna, Sun Valley Fox and St. Donna. We had Ben Matlock, never lost a case. And his wife, Christine. And that's it, right? Did I miss anybody?
No, but
that was us.
Ben and I were drinking shot for shot.
Well, wait a minute. St. Donna and I ran out to go get pizza and a phone that you needed for the thing. You told me that my brother and you had already started drinking.
We did. Yeah.
So you guys pre-gamed.
We did. We were pre-gamed before the show.
So then when we got back, everybody was there.
Right. Starts drinking. So
you guys were drinking even before the bottom of the glass.
Yeah, but your brother tried to go shot for shot with me and myself and Ben. And your brother's old. He can't do that anymore. The thing I remember is somebody saying, I don't know whether you told me or St. Donna told me or Christine told me, because I didn't notice it. I was busy on the microphone doing the show. But towards the end, he was so hammered.
Oh, he was slurring.
He's sitting in his chair. He bent over to pick something off the floor that Christine had dropped. He's like, no, I'll get it. He bent over and just stayed there.
Yeah, he almost didn't get back up. It was either he was going to go completely over or just stay there.
Or just fall asleep right there in the chair.
It was pretty funny. So I think after that, he realized, I got to go to bed. He disappeared. Didn't say goodnight to anybody. He was gone.
No, he just disappeared. I looked up one time and he was gone. We finished the show. We got a lot accomplished with Christine and Ben after the show about the Dayton property doing stuff. So thankfully, Ben Matlock
never lost a case,
kept his wits about him. Christine was straight the whole time, and she wasn't putting up with Ben after the show, not even a little bit.
We weren't sure he was going to survive the ride home.
No. In fact, she texted me. She goes, he got a bloody nose. And did you hit him?
Yeah, did you
hit him on the way home? She goes, no, but I should have. So it was good. It was a good thing. Now, the next time we go up, all we have to do is bring one more microphone and some lights, because the lighting was pretty tough in the Sun Valley Fox's kitchen. It's not meant for filming. So we'll do that next time, and next time we're up there, we'll do a show from there. We'll get everybody out there. Maybe next time Dr. McDreamy can stop by too. He was planning on it, but it didn't work out. We'll see how that goes. All right.
So that was Thursday, right? No, Saturday. And then we went back, and then we were trying to decide when we were going home.
Yeah, and we had to there was a storm coming in.
Yeah, and I told you Sunday was our day. If we didn't get out Sunday, we were stuck for a few more days.
Right.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in Central Oregon, so I know a lot about ice and snow and passes and going. So it wasn't foreign to me to be like, well, our truck is 4-wheel drive. We'll get over the pass. And they, for some reason, going over I-80 from Reno to Sacramento, they were making a much bigger deal about it. About you will have chains, you will have 4-wheel drive.
Both. You had to have both.
Well, and it was okay, and they always do that. I was even talking with Dr. McDreamy that day, and he goes, yeah, they always say that it's not a big deal. And that was the way it was in Oregon. They're like, we're letting 4-wheel drive over.
Maybe to discourage some people from even doing it.
Maybe. Now we're letting 4-wheel drive over with chains. They would tell you what situation, but they just seem to be over telling it. I'm like, okay, we got it. But they were making an emphasis on we will pull you over.
Right.
So I remember telling Dr. McDreamy, I'm just going to go for it. They'll probably let me through. But we got up to the top where they were stopping people. There was 200 18-wheelers.
Oh, at least.
On the side of the road for miles.
I had never seen that.
They were just blocking traffic. They were just stopped in the slow lane, putting on their chains.
Well, I told you they were on the edge, right? In the emergency lane.
Yeah.
And then I was like, are they allowed to be in the first lane? And you said, well, they kind of do that. Then we got to the one part where they even went over another lane.
Yeah, they were just stopped, taking up 2 lanes for
on the highway.
On the highway, just taking up miles, putting on their chain.
And the drivers weren't even caring. They were sticking out in traffic, putting the chain. No. I was like, oh my gosh.
My mirror almost hit a couple of them. It was just close. So we get towards the top, and people are trying to race through where these guys have their checkpoint. And they were catching every one of them. And I said, look, you said, are they going to let us through? Because we were four-wheel drive, but we didn't have chains.
Right.
And if they cross that line, if they make that decision where they say, okay, even with four-wheel drive, now you must have chains, we had to go back.
Right.
I'm thinking, okay, well,
you said the worst case scenario was we just go back to Reno.
We go back, right. Yeah. So that was it. But there was cars I was pointing them out to you. I go, there's cars all around me that there's no way these fucking little two-wheel drives, front-wheel drives are going to get let through. Even with chains, they're not going to let me through. And then this one Sprinter van, this tall delivery, two-wheel drive Sprinter van in front of me. I'm like, okay, here's the telltale sign. If they let this motherfucker through, I'm getting through, because this is the dumbest thing ever. As we're going up the mountain, you kept saying, well, I don't know how snowy it is. I don't know what it's really going to be like when we get up there. Until I pointed to you the downcoming traffic.
Right.
The traffic that had already been across the hill coming down, going into Reno.
They had snow on their cars.
Snow all over their cars. And you were like, uh-oh.
I was like, man, we haven't even hit Donner Summit. We weren't at the summit yet. I was like, man.
So the Sprinter guy gets up. It opens back up into like 4 lanes, and they're flagging everybody down, and they're pointing which way you can go. They did it right at an off-ramp, where if you didn't have it, you can get off and get right back on the other way going back down. Right. They had a cop blocking the on-ramp on the other side. So they were shuffling people. And this fucking Sprinter van tried to go through, and 3 guys waved him over like, no fucking way, buddy. You don't even come to us with change with your rear-wheel drive, tall van. Just get out of here. Just
go. I said to you, how would they know to let us through? I wasn't sure.
They were checking all the cars, but a lot of them, like they could see. I could tell by looking at our truck from 200 yards away or 100 yards away that we're four-wheel drive. I would know to see the front axle. I could see,
and they've done it so much.
And they've done it so much they can tell. But they also can look at cars and go, well, are you two-wheel drive? Are you all-wheel drive? They know, and what they don't know, they just ask. They look, and so they were very good at their job. They were shuffling people through, but. There was a line of cars didn't go over.
We did get through. They let us through.
Yeah, the only problem we had was
you said it was a little slushy.
It was. There was some ice in the shade of the trees that I could feel the truck moving a little bit. But other than that, it was not nearly as bad as I've ever gone through, and it was fine. I didn't see anybody crash. There was truckers that were even slipping a little bit in their lane like we were, but not everybody got through just fine.
Yeah.
But that was,
The other comment you said is there should be a lot of accidents. Remember you kept saying?
Well, I'm worried about accidents. I go, if they let a bunch of idiots through, we're going to have problems. There are going to be accidents all over because people that drive, two-wheel drive cars in ice that are not used to it, they'll cause 50 accidents in the first 5 miles, which is why they block people from going.
And there wasn't one.
No, there wasn't one. They did good by keeping everybody off the road, and the people that did go on the road knew how to drive. We were all going about the same pace.
Yeah, and it wasn't very fast. Everybody was
doing fine.
It was good. That was really, really good. So we made it. We made it home.
Yeah, we did get home.
Sunday.
We had to stop a couple times and I needed to stretch my knee. Dr. McDreamy says, I went to McDreamy and I had a question. I said, now that my knee's getting a little better, but it really hurts, if I walk on it, am I using it up? Like I could see Dr. McDreamy telling me, listen, your knee's fucked. You're only going to get to walk 200 steps a day. That's it. Then your knee's done. Walk your 200 steps. Choose whichever 200 steps you want. That's all you get. Your knee will be wore out after 200 steps. Okay, is that the direction my knee's going? Or would Dr. McDreamy say, hey, you need to keep walking, keep moving. It'll lubricate it. It'll get better as you go. You're not running out of steps. You want more steps? Keep walking.
Yeah.
And that's the latter is what he told me. He goes, you need to lubricate it and keep moving and you'll get better. So I kept stopping on the side of the road and trying to walk and move and push and do. That was the deal there. Which brings me, since we're talking about cars, I do have a story for you, a car story.
Cool.
That has to do with, I was trying to drive, and I had a red Mustang, and I was trying to drive in the middle of the day from Bend, Oregon down to Sacramento, and I was on the 97 way before Klamath Falls, and they had closed the road
Oh, we've been there, done that one before.
there was no cop. So I just drove around the barricade and kept going. Middle of the day.
Of course you did.
Sun shining, blue sky, middle of the day. And I thought, okay, the sun's out. It'll melt everything off the road. I'm going to go. So I'm about 100 miles, maybe 80 miles south of Bend in this Mustang, rear wheel drive. I didn't really notice much. I wasn't going fast. The cop comes up behind me and pulls me over. And he gets out of his car. I get out of my car. I took one step out of the car and slipped and fell. I mean, it hurt. It hit right. I was like, oh, it hurt. The cop comes over, helps me up. He goes, do you know what you slipped on? I looked down and the road was dry. It was dry pavement. I go, I don't understand why I'm slipping. He goes, this is called black ice. I said, there's no ice on the road. He goes, feel it. And when I felt it, there was a thin layer of ice, but I couldn't see it. It was so clear. It looked just like the road. The road did not even look wet.
Interesting.
And I said, well, I was trying to travel during the day. He goes, yeah, the sun's out and it's a blue sky. There's ice all over these roads. He goes, it's only 29 degrees. Nothing's melting. Even with the sun, nothing's melting. And I said, well, what do I do now? I'm about, he goes, well, you can go back to Bend. You're about 85 or 90 miles from Bend, or you can keep going. You got about 100 miles. Well, he said it's about the same. He goes, but don't be surprised if you just go off the road. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was young, I was stupid, and he goes, just go super slow. So I drove, I guess it was about 15, 20 miles an hour the whole way until I got south far enough to where there was no more ice.
Wow.
That was my first real experience with black ice. I had no idea that a road could look normal, an asphalt road could look normal and dry and still be covered in a sheet of ice. That was my first experience. I literally fell right in front of the cop. He helped me up. So, yeah.
Dumbass.
I'm telling you. And I wasn't so proud. I was like, yeah, I fucking feel dumb about that.
Now, the other good one was when I saw snow for the very first time in my whole entire life.
So we were really young married. Kids are just small. And we were driving through. She had never been in snowfall.
That's right. I've seen snow, but I've never seen it.
So we're stuck on the road, kind of the same area, heading north towards Oregon.
Yeah, this was before.
Way before.
Yeah.
And so we get stopped, and we're in a front wheel drive Toyota minivan is what we had at the time.
Oh my God, big.
And they stopped us for chains. And they're like, no, you can't go any further without chains. They turned everybody around, and it came on so fast up above us.
The flakes were so
They stopped,
big.
I guess like 8 or 9 miles ahead of where they were stopping everybody.
Yeah.
It was instantly feet of snow, and the snowplows couldn't even keep up. They were trying. So they turned everybody back, and they're like, well, if you have front wheel drive and you have chains on your front wheel drive, for now we're letting you through, but in about 2 hours, we're cutting you off. You're not going through. So I'm out there. I had bought chains. I'm trying to put these fucking cable chains on.
You dragged our oldest son out there, too.
Well,
You're like, if I'm going, you're going.
So he comes out with me. All the other kids that we had at the time were in the van. And my fingers are burning, hurting out there.
You're cussing up a storm.
We're trying to get these fucking things on. They weren't the easy snap-on fit ones. They were tough, and they were hard to get lined out.
And I was a dog looking out the window.
And except for she gets out. I looked up one time. She had got out. She's on the side of the road doing the Sound of Music with her arms out, and she's catching snowflakes in her mouth. And I was so mad. I'm like, well, I'm glad you're enjoying your fucking time. My fingers are bleeding.
Yes.
We've only got one chain on one tire. I've got to drive us now through the night to get to Klamath Falls to get a hotel room. It's pitch black. They're saying you can go, but you probably shouldn't go.
It took us 2.5 days from Southern California to get to
Central Oregon with the weather. We kept having to stop in these towns, and and I remember we stopped.
Stopped in Klamath.
I was upset because I'm trying to lead this family. I'm trying to protect and guide this family. And I know we're going to get stuck on the road. I know we're all going to die from hypothermia. We blew off one chain.
You did.
Blown into Klamath. One chain broke. And
you lied to me.
I did lie. You go, are we okay? I go, yeah, we still got one chain. And I knew we were still fucked. I knew this was bad.
But he lies
And we're
to
driving
me.
it's late at night. It's all black and the
And it
snow's
looked-
coming down.
Yeah, the snow coming at us. It looked like we were in like a time warp.
Like hyperspace with the Millennium
hyperspace.
Falcon.
It was so bad. Yeah.
So we get there, and then the next day's not much better. It's sunny, but there's ice everywhere. The plows are trying to gravel the road. And
we were going from Klamath to Bend at that
well,
point.
yeah, at that point. So it was tough. But I remember one of our stops on this miserable trip, we were in Weed, and we went to the High-Low Cafe. And we're already a day and a half into this trip.
Yes.
And I am just exhausted trying to do this. And you guys all went in and you got the big round table at
By
the
the
big
window.
bay window
Yeah.
at the High-Low Cafe. And you guys are all got chocolate milks and coffees.
I think that was the
and
highlight of
hamburgers,
that whole
and
thing.
everyone's having a great time. And I'm stressing out going, I got to get us. We're not even halfway there.
But it was a good family moment.
For you
You
guys.
should have sat in the moment at that point and just said the kids were excited and happy. It felt like Christmas. It was like...
Now, half an hour ago, you were telling the audience that I'm sitting in my office chair planning the next day because it's on my mind. How much do you think I was planning at that cafe? I couldn't get anything out of my head.
Couldn't relax at all.
You want me to sit in the moment.
You were like, come on, eat, let's go.
Well, yeah, because we ended up staying there that night. We got snowed in. Remember, we stayed there. That was one of the first nights.
Not in Weed, in Klamath.
No, we stayed in Weed that first night too, didn't we?
We left Weed and went to Klamath. That's when we got that hotel.
You think you're right.
We made it to Klamath.
It was just, I know it was miserable. God,
you wanted to get some miles.
I couldn't focus on anything other than the trip. And all you guys are doing is the snow is pretty. And what do we do
Christmas.
when we get to Grandma's house? And I'm like, in my head, I'm going, we're not getting there. We're all going to we're going to be a statistic and a news story by tomorrow. We're not making it. This isn't going to work.
The whole reason we were at my parents' house for Christmas Eve, we left Christmas Eve hoping usually it's about 12-hour drive to grandparents in Bend.
Door to door.
So we thought we'd be there for Christmas. Well,
no.
We missed Christmas.
And all I wanted to do when we got there is go home. I'm like, just turn around, let's just go home. But that was a miserable thing. So there's your two stories with my Mustang ice story where I slipped and
oh my gosh, I think I'm on number 8.
8 or 9. I slipped in front of the cop on the ice when I was young and stupid, and then I was putting on chains, burning up, cutting my hands while she's doing the Sound of Music, catching snowflakes in her mouth. No, it wasn't good for you.
It was great times.
So
it was good times.
That's it.
I think we're done. That was long.
I know everybody wants a Briggs and Jade update, but I don't have the time or the energy right now. I really don't. We'll cover those on the next one. But there's your update on what it's like being part of the Gen X Talks family before we were the Gen X Talks family. And now you're all caught up on the stories of the day.
Our adventures.
And that's it. I think we're done. Is there anything else you needed to add?
No, that's it. We have a live stream tonight. Stop it.
I don't know that I can do it.
You can do it.
You just say that. You say that and you walk out of the studio.
Don't say
I have to start preparing. I have to get my head in the game. I got to do my...
Stop it. Stop it.
Are you going to do the live stream with me?
Yes.
As long as I do it?
Yes.
You're tired now.
I'm going in. I think I'm going to take a nap and I'll be ready.
You and your dog are going to go take another nap. Well, I'll just stay here.
I got to catch up from yesterday.
I'm going to make another puzzle.
Yeah, that's great. You're going to do that.
Versus
why don't you prep for your show?
Because that's hard and puzzles are fun.
Oh, of course.
And that site that we are part of now has more than just crossword puzzles, so I could make another Gen X Talks puzzle that would be fun to do.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. I think we're done. I think that catches us up.
I think so too.
Oh, does everybody know that I got my blood work back and I got rid of one of my medicines and Dr. McDreamy says I'm going to live to be 100?
He said that?
Oh, yeah.
He's waiting to talk to you personally.
Right, but if it was an emergency, he'd say, we got to talk now.
Well, now he knows.
It's not an emergency.
Now he'll know
So
every time it's just an emergency.
That's right. If we're good to go.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's get out of here. Gracie, say goodnight.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Not sure where you're paying attention to Gen X Talks podcast from, where you are in the world, around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're listening in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 2 things in life. Number 1, wherever you go, well, there you are. And number 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out.
Bye.